What's up, guys? I want to jump in here quickly before the video starts and say I'm sorry about the delay in this video. We ran into some issues with Toyota and getting the parts that we needed. There was one part that held up a giant order for the car. And then once the parts finally arrived, we ran into some unexpected fitment issues that were thought to have been dealt with before the car had gotten in my hands. You'll see that later on in this video. Again, sorry for the delay. But here's an update on the Ridox 97 Supra. Alright, so here's these things. They mount here. Okay, so I'm having a little bit of trouble. I don't know if that's the right word, but just a little roadblock here on how this mounts up. You know, how much gap is in between here. And then this has to go on underneath. And I got the instructions here. And it shows, you know, the panel going on. But I don't think it's designed to have the fender panel thing attached to it. So I'm using Google Translate to take a photo, and that way I can read what it all says. So yeah, looks like we might have to just build in like a spacer underneath and then put this long one underneath it. I just wish they showed like a side angle so you can see how much they want it to stick out. Because right here, it looks like it's butted all the way up against it. So maybe we do that. So right there, it's butted up against it. But then down here, there's a gap. Maybe that's what they're saying. I can see 3 centimeter. I don't know what this says. I can't read that. So I'll translate that and see what they say. And so right here it says 0 centimeter, and right here it says 3 centimeters. So I'm guessing that's the gap there. I don't know though. So yeah, then obviously the issue is if I lay that panel underneath, you know, it's not gonna be super flush. You know, there's gonna be a gap, so we're just gonna have to probably put in some spacers just so it sits better. Okay. All right, so that's what's going on right now. It looks like a simple piece, but it's actually turning into a bit of a challenge. Okay. Okay, quick update on what this says. So you can see the lower side of the side skirt is drilled in 4 places and fixed with an attached, I think this was to say rivet to complete mounting pattern 1. Mounting pattern 1 is a 0 centimeter gap, so it's 0 centimeter, obviously what I was talking about. And then the other one is pattern 2, which is a 3 centimeter gap. So I'm gonna message the owner and see which one he likes more for the car. Cool. Okay, so I just got off of the phone with the owner, and we're gonna go with number 2, which is the gap. And the reason for that is if you tuck this in, so it's kind of like on an angle. I don't know how much that's picking up on camera. You can see how it's like tuck it on an angle versus if it sticks out a little bit, then it's more straight up and down. And that's what we decided would look best, even though the panel itself isn't completely straight, just as we think that looks the best. So we're gonna go with that. Cool. All right, so surprised myself how long this is actually taking. So we got this mocked up. I'm gonna have to drill all new holes because the holes that someone else drilled, they just don't fit too great. I'm also having a little issue now because there's so much tension here, I might have to release some of that. So the side skirts can sit down because it's pushed up now. Because of that. Work on that a little bit more, but that's a pretty rough draft of how that panel's sitting. Got the gap right here at this. When we look at this angle, it's pretty square looking, you know, it's not coming in. So that looks good. And then the way I have this carbon piece right here lined up, it's lined up with these cutaway points in the side skirt. So here's one at the back of the car. And then there's one in the front here. It's so hard to work the camera in this space. But there's one in the front. So, you know, have it butted up to it. There you go, you can see it on the inside. So yeah, that's how I have it lined up. I think it looks pretty decent. So fine tune it just a little bit, and then I'm gonna actually drill the holes for it. Yeah, cool. Okay, so I got clamps holding it up now. Need to show you guys here. So I got a 1/2 inch on the front and the rear. For gapping, the middle is a little not quite there, but just, that's because of, you know, this isn't a flat panel. That's the only thing about it. But I think that looks pretty good. You know, it looks pretty square, straight up and down. We look, you know, pretty good there with the line. We're not hitting here. So I like that. And the only weird thing is the side skirt now is just a little. So what's going on is there's a mounting point with the side skirt where, there it goes, you guys can see it wants to be there, to mount into that. But when it comes there, this guy wants to flare out. So if you release it from the bottom, it likes to tuck in. So we're just gonna have to drill that hole on the bottom so it's a little better of a fit. Have to drill that out. We'll see. But I'm pretty happy with how all of this is looking now. You know? We're not sticking out really. Right here, it's not a perfect same line. You know, the angle, this isn't the exact same, but I think that's all right. I think this is going to be the spot. I think we're going to start drilling. Now the challenge is there's pre-drilled holes on this thing that I would like to keep. You know, I wouldn't like to throw a whole bunch of holes in it. But I have this where I have this where I want it. I have this where I want it. So figuring that out will be fun. But that's for me to do. So Here's an update for you guys. Okay, so you can see I clamped it on. Now I can see the holes that someone already drilled. So I can go in through the top side, drill those out through the bottom, and then we'll remount it and then drill up the other way, and then drill these holes too. Check all of those holes, and we'll be good to go for this side. And then we got to do it all over again on the other side. All right, so one final check. Got it mocked back up. Thing looks pretty good. Double check measurement. Make sure we're not moving. Yeah. So, cool. Drill this up. All right, got the clamps off. I got clecos holding it in. See, the bottom side is all cleco there. So now I'm gonna just do the rest of the holes. Do the rest of these and we should be set. Unfortunately, there is a big hole right there that someone drilled. But you don't see that. It's just unfortunate that it was pre-mounted at a different point. Yeah. Gonna do the rest of these and show you guys what it looks like when it's done. And that inside panel is kind of matched up. The overlay is matched up with this, which is matched up with that. It's kind of hard to see under here, but I think you get the idea. So everything is looking pretty good. Cool. I'm happy with that. I think the owners are going to be happy too. So, cool guys. Now I got to do the other side. All right. So we got the other side done. It's funny how fast this side went because I knew how we wanted it and how it mounts and everything. Yeah, this side's on. Looks pretty good. You know, it's looking pretty straight. Pretty good there. You know, the same angle of the gap. Looks really good. This obviously isn't, I don't have this bolted on. But yeah, it'd be nice if I could get someone to make like a carbon fiber panel that went over here, just so it flows in with that. Tried a few local places, but no one was able to help me. I've never made a carbon fiber panel piece, so that might be something I have to do in the future. Because I don't want to ship the side skirts because it's so fragile. I don't want it to break again or anything. Yeah, I think that's looking good, guys. Start cleaning up some of this stuff. That way I can get the welder out and do a lot of it at once instead of get the welder out, put it away, get it out, put it away. So, yeah. This will be an interesting adventure. For sure. Huh. baby. Look at that thing. Whoa! This is a chunky monkey. Yeah. So, wish me luck because I am going to need it. Okay, so we're having some problems. The other Supra, not this one. Just want to show you guys a few measurements here. If you look at this, it's about 6 3/4. I don't know if that's focused. Where about that's hitting up there. I'm looking at this line right here from the frame. Both sides are the same here, just to show you. This car hasn't had any damage done to it. Okay, so there's that measurement. Take it down, show you guys the other car. Okay, so this car, I got 2 tape measures. You can see we are about 1/2 inch off on each side. This side's more about 1/4 off. This side, about 1/2 inch off. So that really explains the cut that they made right here. I don't know if that shows up, whoops. So the cut they made and then they lowered it for whatever reason, which is beyond me. They lowered it unless it's to fit the hood down better. I don't know, it just all seems so weird. So now what I'm planning on doing is removing the operator support and putting a new one in. But then we gotta cut these panels out for the radiator ducting and then work the new one in somehow. That'll be interesting. I just don't understand why it would be cut and lowered. Because what happened was when they did that, that's why this thing didn't fit, so they welded it in. So there's supposed to be this thing, the bottom here, there's the hole supposed to bolt in right here. And then there's supposed to be a tab that, like this side, but right here, for the top to bolt to. You can throw this in there. Oh, janky. But if we were to line up the hole now, the hole's supposed to be hard to do one hand. Right there, you can see, whoops. This is so hard to do one hand. Okay, so right there, you can see that we're sticking up our 1/2 of an inch off. So I got a new one of these coming, and we got a new one of these coming. On top of that, you can see all of the weird body work. I'm just so confused. I'm baffled by what is going on here. Okay, so I'm trying to measure some of the dimensions and make sure stuff is in tolerance. And so it's really hard to measure a lot of this because, like, if you look at like A right here, so A, there's supposed to be a body hole. And it's supposed to be right here. Obviously that's not there. So you come up here and you look at other measuring holes. So like here's a measuring hole. So we got this one, but if you come on this side, this measuring hole has been filled. So can't measure that hole. You're supposed to measure to where the fender tab bolts up right here, but that one's been filled. Can't measure that. Let's see. Some other ones. We did square. We are square from there to these. I measured to this instead because there's no hole right here. So I just kind of try to put the pin in the middle of the bumper or the hood bump stops, whatever you call them. So that is square. Like it's perfectly square each direction. So that's solid. And because they have panels welded on, these holes don't count for crap. That hole's the wrong size. You know, this is a smaller diameter than that one. So yeah, I'm just figuring that out now. Alright everyone, we got the core support, the radiator support out. A lot of cleanup work that I gotta do. A lot of it. Getting it out was not easy. But at least it's out. I gotta wait for the new one to come in and clean everything up. And we'll get it installed in the proper spot this time. Yeah, a lot of cleanup work. Cool. Alright, after talking with the owner, we decided it would be best if I just replace the lower radiator support. There's just so much crappy stuff going on. To clean it all up and fix it, it'd be better just to buy a new one and put a new one in. Unfortunately, this is pretty rough. So I gotta figure out how I want to go about putting the new one in, because it comes with, normally you replace this whole thing up to here, and then it goes all the way up there, and then ties in through here. We got the plate here. Alright, there's the front end now. Still gotta do a lot of cleanup work, remove a lot of this, clean a lot of this up, but it's definitely a step in the right direction, I think. Yeah, it's definitely the way to go. Let's look at the old one. So you can see how nasty this thing was. Yeah, look at how nasty this thing is compared to the new one. Definitely needed to do that. This thing is so bad. You know, they even put this plate on the bottom. That's not supposed to be there. It's supposed to look like that. You don't want the plate on the bottom because the owner wants the diffuser, the front diffuser on, so the plate would get in the way. Yeah. Alright, I want to quick give you guys a look at. I got a quick cleanup job going on. It's looking a lot better already, just with the new supporting on the bottom, I think. Yeah, that looks so much better. So much better. Yeah, what a difference. Especially in person. I don't know if it's coming across on camera how much better it's looking. But in person it feels so much better than that mess. Cool. Alright, quick update here. Got a really rough draft of fitting. So things are coming together. It's a little screwy on this side. How some of this goes. I'm gonna have to do a lot of cleanup. But it's in, so that's a good sign. Definitely gonna have to fit the panels again too, make sure they'll fit it good. We're gonna put the front rebar on, make sure that fits good too. But yeah, it's on, so that's something. Cool. Alright, so it took a while. We got the upper radiator support in. We got a new lower one. See how nasty the old one was? New one. But, so the issue we're having now with this is I have this set up in the right spot on the rail, but we're sitting too high. So the frame rail needs to go down. It's causing very poor fitment issues on the fender. We've been rubbing up there. Using an OEM fender for the red car, just so I know that the OEM locations are correct. So yeah, that means this frame rail needs to go down. Fortunately, that does mean we have to take it to a frame shop. And that means I gotta wait for the owner to send me out subframe so I can put wheels on the car, and then we can load it on a trailer and take it to a frame shop, which is really, really sad because it has already been to a frame shop. The owner has paid someone to put it on a frame shop, on a rack, make sure the rails are straight, because it has been an accident and unfortunately was not done right. So we're gonna do it right this time for them. We know why they cut the upper radiator support here and lowered it. It was because of fitment issues, exactly like this. Instead of cutting corners, we're gonna do it right for them. But that means waiting for that subframe to come, the front and rear. He has a guy moving to one state over, and he's gonna bring the stuff in. He's gonna bring the subframe and control arms and stuff like that when the guy moves, which is until about April. So that's an update on the Ridox Supra. So sorry about the delay. It took forever to get the parts from Toyota. And then on top of that, once you get the parts from Toyota, we have this issue. So the red car will be getting a whole bunch of videos while this is on the back burner.